Is it about time that Fortnite brings back old movement? It's something that a lot of the players have been asking for a very long time now. And just recently, I was on TikTok and saw a beautiful edit. If I can, I'll put it in here, of somebody compiling a couple of streamers' clips with old movement, and damn, that almost brought a tear to my eye. The old movement is something that everyone talks about every now and then, and the reason for that is because, well, at the beginning of Chapter 5, we lost it. Ever since they decided to make a bunch of changes to the way the movement works in game, everybody has been clamoring for the old movement to come back. But why? Was it actually better? And is what we have now actually that bad? Well, let's talk about it. How's it going, everyone? It's TrulyMystic, and in today's video I wanted to talk about old movement in Fortnite and why it actually may be a good idea for Fortnite to bring it back, but I'll explain it all in a little bit. So without further ado, let's just get straight into it. So everyone remembers the old movement from back in the olden days of OG Fortnite. Just simple sprinting animations, nothing too complicated. Even back when we did have old movement, we got the likes of the sprinting meter and the sliding mechanic, both of which have been very great additions to the game, as well as mantling. Now, over time, a lot of people got used to the way things work. I mean, we've had these animations for years, and we were only getting a couple of new additions, like sliding, which was very easy to learn. It seemed like we were getting new mechanics, but over time, generally integrating them into our playstyles, and it was great. Anytime Fortnite did decide to add a new feature like this, a lot of pro players or comp players would use this in their metas, and a lot of tips and tricks would form around these metas, which made for some great conversation in the Fortnite community. But at the very beginning of Chapter 5, we lost something very dear to us. In favor of going a more realistic approach, Fortnite actually decided to remove the OG movement in favor of some newer animations. And this was shown to us in the form of not only regular sprinting, but crouching, crawling, etc. And the animations weren't the only thing that changed. No, the overall feel of everything actually changed. Now, what Fortnite says is that the new movement animations opt for a more realistic look to the game. Supposedly, they make everything feel a bit faster than it was before. But honestly, I'm gonna argue against this. Personally, I'm someone who really wouldn't mind if there were a couple of animation changes to the way we move around in Fortnite. But in actuality, it does affect the actual gameplay, especially for controller players. Side-to-side movement just feels very weird. Diagonal movement especially feels very weird. And when attempting to build, the back and forth between the pull-out animation of either your builds or your pickaxe or your weapons or whatever feels very off when switching back and forth. It's hard to actually explain it unless you experienced both old movement and new movement yourself. After taking a break from Fortnite for a while is when people really start to notice things like this. The game, it just feels off. And well, the pro players have definitely noticed this themselves. What's weird though is that Fortnite has still decided for a very long time now not to bring back the old movement. And I gotta ask, why? It's actually something that the community has been asking for ever since Chapter 5, the very beginning. But their answer to us was to just get used to it and eventually we'll like it. But here's the thing. Soon, it's going to be almost 2 years since these decisions have been made, and now, more than ever, I've seen a bunch of people clamor for the old movement to still return. What's wild too is that the new Fortnite OG mode still doesn't use the older movement animations, which is what a lot of people think would literally make the mode as perfect as possible. And look, I don't think it's that big of a deal if the new movement is in OG Fortnite and somewhat ruins the experience for others, but just saying, if you do want to lean closer to what OG Fortnite actually was, and a lot of people are clamoring for old movement to come back, then it actually might be in your best interest to bring it back, at least for the mode. Now, I'm still not too sure as to why Epic refuses to do this. This is clearly a change that a lot of people want, and I don't think many people would have an issue with it actually coming back. It's just kind of weird still that we've been with something for so long in the game to suddenly take it away or change it drastically. You look at a lot of Fortnite's posts on social media whenever they post something, and a lot of the replies are bring back old movement. Epic, I think it's about time that you listen to this community and actually do something with their opinions. I think it's clear that old movement at this point needs to come back. I don't think anyone's really getting used to it, even almost 2 years later. A change like this would make a lot of fans happy. I'm just curious as to what they're waiting for. Perhaps at the beginning of Chapter 7, we could see a revert, or maybe another grand overhaul to how the animations function. Either way, it's going to be very interesting to see. But I'd really like to know, what do you guys think? Should old movement come back to Fortnite, or do you guys prefer the new movement? I'd really love to know. As always, I want to thank all of you for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and use code TrulyMystic in the item shop if you would like to support me there. Now I hope you all have a wonderful day or night, and I will catch you in the next one. It's TrulyMystic, and until then, peace.